Welcome along, Damien here for 95 Google, this time taking a look at the daytime shooting capabilities of the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 and the Huawei Mate 20 Pro. Just a quick point, this is a daytime shootout only, as a more comprehensive night test will be coming that soon includes the Pixel 3, and that should be interesting to say the least. Both cameras are in their most basic point and shoot modes for A, convenience on my part, and B, because the average user will almost always use this mode. I know myself, when I just want to take a quick snap for Instagram, Facebook or Twitter, 99.9% of the time I just tap to focus and then take a picture. So all that being said, let's get into it. Trees and greenery are a great place to start. First up, the new kid on the block, the Mate 20 Pro, produces what I would consider to be a great colour accurate snap. There's not too much light, just the right amount of darkness on a murky, dank day, and there's plenty of detail in all areas of the image too. I'd say that the picture is pretty cold, but it is reasonably accurate. Contrast that straight away to the Note 9 with a really warm image, greens verging on a slight yellow colour, lots of detail and an inviting image, most definitely not in keeping with the cold October day in which this image was taken. It's a lovely crisp picture too, tons of detail everywhere across the image. Comparing, you can see the difference almost instantly. I imagine this might become a little bit of a theme. Which do I prefer? I must admit, I think I prefer the Mate 20 Pro, although if I were to share one to Instagram, it would be the Note 9 every single time. Let's try a slightly wider shot. Now the Mate 20 Pro does an amazing job of this lake and trees fading as we reach the autumn. You can see just how overcast it is, and yet the picture is beautifully exposed. Again, lots of detail in the tree lines and the lake itself. The Note 9 is uncharacteristically moody and dark, the sky looks even more menacing, and whilst there is plenty of detail, the overall lack of light in the picture makes it much less inviting. I'd say that both are very different images, but I pick the Mate 20 Pro every time. Injecting a bit of colour, this Lifebuoy is pretty weathered, so it's much closer to a light orange than deep red. The Mate 20 Pro has done well, as I was actually stood under a tree whilst taking this picture. The leaves are very detailed and the lake in the background is beautifully exposed. Note 9 time now, and at first glance I found it very difficult to tell the difference, but everything is just ever so slightly lighter. The boy is better as the white centre is much more pronounced, but honestly there is very little to choose between the two images. Initially I couldn't tell which camera was which, luckily the file names have helped with that, but I would be equally happy with either. Overall it's quite a decent little image. It turns out the lake does actually have some life in it after all. First up, the swans are nice and detailed, but something feels slightly off about the Mate 20 Pro image. It's not glare, it's just a little bit on the light side, but these swans' necks are also a little bit muddy too. It seems really strange. I love this picture taken on the Note 9, it's crystal clear, the swans are nice and bright white, and it's a lovely and detailed image. That being said, in both images I keep finding little nuances that I like, but this is really a great picture from the outset. When compared, you might be able to see what I'm talking about with the Mate 20 Pro. I couldn't quite figure out if I maybe smudged the Mate 20 Pro lens, but overall it isn't quite as good in my opinion. Here the Mate 20 Pro does a great job managing the various areas. You can see that the sun has poked through onto the far bank and trees. I'm stood in the shade here, so these shade variations are also very well handled. Maybe a little bit of a problem with the flock of swans towards the top right, but overall it's a great picture. Note 9 now, and those textbook poppy colours. It does better overall with the swans, but it's a good image with greenery that is a little bit too green in all honesty. I struggled to choose between both, much like the very first image, but I think I prefer the Mate 20 Pro's picture overall, but then again I do like how the Note 9 boosts that green. Seeing as though I can't quite seem to choose between both cameras, I'd love to know what you think. Let me know which is the best of the two in the comments section below. As I mentioned, a proper night mode camera test will come in future once we get properly hands on with the Pixel 3 and Pixel 3 XL, and remember to subscribe to make sure you're one of the very first to see that. Anyway, this is Damien from 95 Google saying thank you very much for watching, and I will speak to you later.